What's happening, guys? And today we are going to talk about a little bit of Java tutorials. We are taking a small break from Excel tutorials which we had been doing lately. Now I was going through class 8 ICSE syllabus like last week, and I had noticed that there are a few questions in Java programming which where people or students find it difficult to attend those programs. So we tried to recreate some of the programs and give you a brief description of how we have done the program. So here goes. This in that particular lesson you have around 12 to 16 programs which needs to be completed by students. So here's the first program which we are going to discuss today, and in the next tutorial we are going to discuss about the second questions, and third tutorial we are going to discuss about third, and so on. So right now I'm using Eclipse Ide. You can use BlueJ if you want to, because it doesn't really matter. I use Eclipse because it gives me an upper edge, and because it has IntelliSense technology. Whenever you're typing a bunch of codes, it gives you a better response when as far as coding is concerned. But then it really depends on you. If you know the codes, then even a text editor would be fine for you, so it doesn't matter. All right, the first question in that book is this is for class 8, 9, 10, 11 students also can follow along. It makes no big difference. So the question was, write a program as per the given details. Now you have the class name, which should be your class as usual, and your name, father's name, postal address, contact number, and this program should display all the output on the screen. Okay, I have already made the program for you, so I'm just going to go through a few basics and I'm going to tell you that how we have arranged this program. So let's go ahead. I have imported Java input output and Java utility because we wanted to use the scanner to make the program a little bit interactive. So, and this particular file we had created by right clicking here. We went to new, sorry, and then we went to the class section and we created a class, and the class name we had given as self information. This name you can give anything which you feel like remembering, so it doesn't really matter much. And then you have the main method where you will be placing in all the bunch of codes here. So let's discuss one by one. So now there are a few things to remember before we go ahead and discuss this in detail. For example, class name, father's name, and address are taken as a string. Okay, now when you're declaring strings, you can either declare string string class, and then you put a colon beside it, and then again you go string name. So it becomes a lengthy process. Then this is a much more shorter and a better way to do it. So since I have 4 variables which represent string, I have mentioned string here, and I've taken all the variables, and these variables, let me mind you that these variables can be the name which you choose. So if you don't want to you can make it as my class, it doesn't matter, okay, or your class, it doesn't matter. But I tried to keep it simple because every programmer has its own theory and they have their own views. So I have kept this as a class. The name stands for your name which you're going to give, and you have the father's name, and then the address. You have 4 variables which has been installed as a string. Now comes the contact. Now contact, you can place it as an integer, but I have somehow I felt like giving it as a long, because contact numbers are generally 10-digit numbers, so it's better to use a long instead of an integer. Okay, never use float because floats are for decimals. So if you use float, then the output which you will get it in decimal format. So avoid using float. Now comes the scanner class. So when we use scanner, we try to take in inputs with the help of the scanner variable. Now when you declare scanner, you write scanner and then place your scanner name and then type in equals to new scanner and system.in. Okay, once you have done that, now here's the fun part. This is the fun part, and uh, I will tell you how we look at as programmers on the screen. When we are programming, we also visualize what is happening on the user's end. Okay, so we need to understand two things over here. When you're programming codes, you also should keep in mind that how the original output would look like. Only then, the time when you have or the thing when you have these two things going together, you will really strive forward in terms of programming. So in this case, I have taken system.out.println. So println means once this particular statement prints, the cursor is going to blink below in the next screen. Okay, so whatever you place, it comes like one line below. Okay, now since we need to make it interactive, so I have used print line over here, and then we have stated that please enter your details starting with your name. Okay, so this would be the heading. So it actually lets user know what kind of a programming, and it is asking what things. Okay, so next is the system.print, and this print only print statement means the class name and the following design over here would get followed by the input which you give in form of class. So we will get to see when we run this program. Okay, then similarly we have taken name, we have taken the father's name, and we've taken the address. So once you enter class name, father's name, everything is getting stored in the uh, scanner. Okay, now how do you call the scanner methods? Now scanner has bunch of methods. Okay, for example, you have next float, next int to take integers, you have next float to take floats, you have next double to take doubles. Over here we are taking strings. That's why I have placed a next line, which means it is taking the string value and storing it temporarily before outputting it into the screen. Now if you see, for contact we have used next long, which means since the contact over here is long, I will be using a next long to store the long value into the method called next long. Okay, so once this is done, then we are supposed to print this statement to see how it reacts with whatever we have done. So now we are going to print everything into the lines, okay, one by one, one below the other. So now we have said that system.out.println, the details you have entered are as follows. So same command with the class name and the class. Remember, if you add a plus, which means it concatenates two, so this is a string. Watch carefully, the plus is adding this plus this and plus this, and then the class which you have declared here and stored here, which will finally get printed here. Okay, similarly name, father's name, address, and contact. So then close the brackets and make sure your brackets are closed. Okay, and this is done, your programming is done. So if you see everything, let me save it, and then if we run this program, you see over here, please enter your details. So let's see, you're in class 8. I'm using Romans. You can use anything you feel like, doesn't matter. Hit enter, then your name. So my name is the Pabo. So I will hit my name, hit enter. My father's name is D dot Banerjee. Okay, and hit my address. I'm going to give some some address. Okay, hit enter, and here is my contact number. So I will use plus 91, and then I'll be using 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 maybe. Okay, so you have 8 digits, 10 digits I suppose. 2, okay, and then 4 6 8 and 10. Okay, now once this is done, I have filled up all the details. Now it's time for the system to print. As soon as I hit enter, the system prints the details which I have provided as an input. So here it is, the first question in your textbook solved for you. Refer this, follow our channel, subscribe. If you have comments, you comment below. If you have new programming styles, you want to learn about patterns or something else, let us know and we will help you out. Okay, this is the Pabo Banerjee, and have a very nice day, and we will come back with another tutorial next, how to make this within an object so that you you get to know what object and methods are all about. And then we are going to head over to the next question in your textbook, which is displaying the employee salary, if I'm not wrong. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching this video.